So you have like three things. You've got the guitar, you got the strap,
Okay.
and you got the cable to plug it in. Right?
Uh-huh.
So let's just start with something really simple. So put this guy on the left shoulder. It's just like a regular guitar where the strap is usually on the left shoulder. There's also an alternative way.
Okay.
With the strap on the right, but we're not gonna look at that today.
Okay. Yeah. We'll start easy.
Yes. Yeah. Just put it there, and
Is that the right direction?
yeah, just make sure that exactly that the pad is kind of like sitting on your shoulder and a little forward, like this. Like you want to have this sit on front of your chest. That
Okay.
part. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Cool. Uh-huh.
So we're going to check if the length is good for you also.
Okay.
So let me just for now hand the instrument to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. And I would plug this guy in first.
Yeah.
And if it's too hard going, just push this little knob here, this little thing inside. Okay.
And is that locked in now?
It's locked in, yeah. So then this guy goes on top here. Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, fantastic, very good.
All right.
Yeah, and that's it basically already, right?
Cool.
So I'll show you a couple of, just stand straight.
Yeah.
I'll show you a couple of things that may happen. Sometimes the instrument kind of like moves over this way.
Okay.
You don't want that. You want it to be sitting kind of like right in front of you, and like there's a rule of thumb that I use, which is like 16th, 17th fret should be in front of your belly button. Sort of.
Gotcha.
And the height is fine like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rule is like it should probably be a little bit higher, but we'll see later. About chin height for the first fret here.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the saddle.
Right. It could be
A little higher, but it looks great.
Cool.
And I mean this really, because the instrument is floating freely on your body, it's not a big issue if something is kind of off, even like half an inch or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Okay.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And you see like what happens here if I touch this here.
Mm-hmm.
You see it's completely free.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can put it here, and you see like there you go, and it's still balanced there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's a kind of like a big range here of this much where the instrument can sit, and as you play, I encourage you to always kind of like dynamically even change the position of the instrument. We'll do that later, but it's a little bit daunting because you'll see. Okay.
Cool.
So this guy goes in here on the side, so it's a little different, like
Right, a normal guitar.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Controls are up here so that they're easy to reach. You don't have to reach over the strings, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's why.
And what are these? Volume?
Oh, that's just volume and
tone?
tone. So this is a passive instrument. So it's the simplest you could get, and just one pickup.
And this is volume?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I bet it should be all the way up.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So you see, like your intuitive sense of how to put your fingers on the instrument is quite perfect already, right? I can see a little. I already can see a little thing that may become an issue. I can see. So you're doing. So let's just start with something really simple. Just shake my hand here, Shawn. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So this is really the way of the handshake. Is really the way that you want to approach the instrument.
Okay.
And so right now we're putting a little bit of pressure here, right? So, but you can also relax this, or release this, and kind of like release the whole arm even up to the shoulder. Yeah. Great. You're doing great. And that's where how the hand should be on the instrument.
Okay.
So let's just put it down for now. Here, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, and do the same with the left hand. Okay, give me some.
Yeah.
Okay, then release.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good. And so here we've already now established we put energy into the string and we released, but we're still in touch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so and this is kind of like the metaphor for the whole thing. Right. So the handshake. Energy in, energy out, and relax more. Just relax this whole thing here. More. Yeah. Well, it's much harder for you on the left arm to relax. Interesting. Maybe it's because of the weight right now, or you see what happens that the neck comes down this way, and now that's normal when you're a beginner. normal. This will, like after a few days, the instrument will be sitting where it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you see the problem why it does that is because it's moved this way a little bit.
Gotcha.
There. Yes. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay. So, what do we do first?
Yes. So the first thing to do is just to make contact with the string. It's a very, very simple kind of bizarrely simple exercise to do. We always want to be able to reach all the one string with all 4 fingertips of one hand.
Okay.
Right. So let's start with the left hand for this. Okay. You're doing this great. I'm gonna show you anyway. So with this hand, remember here and relaxed. Okay. So now this hand comes from below like this. Okay. Bring the fingertips into one line and now put them onto the string. Yes, there you go. Great. So you see it's a little different now. Like I can already see like you're making more of a bend in the wrist than you did before when you just freely touch the instrument. So the fact that we want to, there you go.
You want it straight, right?
You want, well, no, you don't ever want like just one position. It doesn't have to be straight, but straight is the default.
Yeah,
that's the way to see it.
Right.
You want flexibility here, and it should be loose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but still, like
this is not good.
No, this is not good, and also the other direction is not good.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So this first, and so now this will be difficult to see for people. The thumb, the position of the thumb, this is good now. What you did just before was that you lifted this up. No, this should be kind of like.
Right.
So remember shaking hands. So you see when you're shaking hands, you're rather not doing this, right?
Right.
It's more like this, and that's exactly what you want there.
Okay.
Perfect. This is great. So you will have to deliver a certain, and this is gonna go through the whole thing. You have to develop a certain stiffness while still being flexible.
Sure. Yeah.
So you need to be able to engage every single knuckle to be tight.
Yeah.
While you're relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's so the this very first exercise, which traditionally, and I think I may say this in a YouTube video, was called the wanker.
Okay.
Because you just move the hand up and down the string. Right.
Yeah.
And without pushing down too much. So just touching the surface of the string, you start exploring by moving the hand up and down, and just a couple frets or just a couple inches, right? You don't even want to go far. Just move up and down. Yeah, up and down.
And then, am I touching with my thumb the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
So touching, as in you try to mirror what the fingers do here on the string, on the back of the neck.
Okay.
Yeah. So only slightly touching the surface of the neck.
Yeah.
On the back. Yes. And there you go. You see? Yeah. You see what happened there is that once you came to a certain point here, you made a jerking kind of movement that it needs to become kind of like a fluid thing.
Yeah.
So what you want to do right now, don't go over that point where you feel tension building up. So only go just straight before that, and then just move back into the other direction.
Right, because it seems like the position or something changes down here in how you have to place your arms. So
Yes.
Until right about here is okay.
Yeah.
And
the interesting thing is it's very much related about how your body can adjust to the reality of the string.
Okay.
Right? And you'll see that even after a few days, it will be much easier. So, but just start out simply just moving up and down. You can move up and down a little faster. You can just, there you go. And this little bit of noise that we hear, that's you want that.
Yeah.
And because now, if you were to press a little harder with all 4 fingers, and you move,
you start
hearing, the pitch going up as you're fretting, basically. Yes. You see, this is such such a simple exercise, but it's really the most basic. If I only have like a couple of minutes to warm up before a show, I do that. I just move along.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder than it looks to do it perfectly, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can see how, just like the drums, the most basic exercises are sometimes the hardest and the most beneficial.
Yes. Which makes sense because that's what everything else is based on.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So try the right hand.
Yeah. Right hand seems easier.
Yes. Well, you bring this one down.
Okay.
And you see, like there was quite a bit of tension here. Now, did you notice that? Try again.
Okay.
Just try the left hand
Let's
again.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, right hand is much easier. I know it's sort of like the general rule. Don't ask me why. I think people are like, we are really conditioned, even if you haven't played guitar or bass, like that idea that the left hand, like for a right-handed player, is the fretting hand, is so deeply ingrained in us.
I think it's also easier to keep the arm straight and the wrist straight.
Yes.
If the guitar was this way, the left hand might be easier.
Yes. You see, so let's just do the handshake again here. Okay, so just give me like, yeah. Okay. So energy in and energy out. Release, relax. Very good. So now this hand comes, you're already doing it right intuitively, but I'm showing you anyway. Bring it up like this. There you go.
Cool.
And here, it's kind of like the same, like you want it to be more or less straight. Doing this, for example, is okay while you play, but going this direction is not so good.
Yeah. I can feel, there's more tension that way.
Yes, there's more tension, and it's harder to move the fingers.
Okay.
So, but doing this would be okay. And like I said, everything is going to be dynamic. There's no such thing as a fixed position. There's just a fixed sort of attitude.
Okay.
How to approach, as you will see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's great. So the exercise that then later became the sun exercise. It's now called the sun exercise, and it's this little bit of a system which I call the family, right? Because they're just like these family members, and their relationships are sort of represented in how the exercises interrelate.
Okay.
And this is the most basic exercise. It's the sun.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. And so always make sure. Yes, it's very good. All 4 fingertips are touching the string. Here, so the horn, the design of the horn is to give you a guide. Yes, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Very good. Sort of a guide to keep the hand there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, but you don't. You see now you've lost. Yeah, okay. You've lost the alignment of the fingers there for a short moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so you see what you're doing right now is you're pushing the fingers over a little bit to this side. Okay, so what will happen later on, that fingers will kind of extend a little bit. Okay. So yes, exactly, so that you get, yeah, there you go.
And why is that?
It's because, like if your fingers come from this way, you're always kind of like giving a sideway.
I see.
Push to the string, which you don't want. You basically want to hit it right coming from the top.
Okay.
From above.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Oh.
So, and then you can already start experimenting with different kinds of pressure. You could say like press very, very hard and move up and down. Yes, it's okay if you hold it there. Or extremely lightly, which is the default, which I call the released position.
Okay.
Actually, I call this the full release, where all 4 fingers are in the released position.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very important tool for you for checking if what you're doing is right. So you could slow something down a lot, then make sure that after every single note, all the 4 fingers go to the full release.
Okay. Yeah, this is the default position.
It's kind of like a default, yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Well, it's quite different than a guitar technique or a piano technique, which I already explained to you in the other videos that we filmed. Yeah, exactly. Both hands. And here you can now already kind of like get a sense of the principle, where you have like two hands that in this position right now, we would call them uncrossed, because they're not crossing over each other. So there's uncrossed and a crossed way of positioning your hands on the strings. If it's uncrossed, now you're on one string, that would still be called crossed.
Okay.
Because the hands are kind of like crossing over on that one string, and
so like that would be
like that would be crossed.
Okay.
Uncrossed is when
like that.
Yes. Okay. So just put your hands in an uncrossed position and just explore. So now you can explore. Okay, both hands can go up at the same time, or one hand can go down while the other goes up, and you have like all these ways of combining these movements. You can have like one hand moving slow while the other moves fast.
Yeah, and I'm concentrating a lot on trying to keep the position and the tension just right. I mean, loose, but
don't worry so much about the tension at this point. Just use the feedback on your fingertips as a guide to kind of just to know that you're in touch with the instrument. Gotcha. And as you get more familiar, the tension will kind of dissipate. So if you put your hands in a cross position now and you do the same, you realize, you see now the hands will get into each other's way. So now you can't, and that's why it's called crossed.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and really this should be like maybe 5 minutes of warm up. Just and you can really kind of like also really massage the strings if you really want to warm up. Let's do that for a minute.
Okay.
Just with both hands, put them in like uncrossed position. Yes, and now just really push down hard and move fast. Stay on one string per hand.
Okay.
On one string per hand. So
one per hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and really push down hard.
Yeah. Then
so you see what happens when your fingers turn inward here is that you're pulling the string in one direction.
Okay.
So that's why. Yeah. You're doing very well there. So for the thumbs, there is the rule of thumb, which is like the tendency or of the thumb should be to always point towards the headstock. You never want to get in a position where you do this, or where you do that. And it's very simple reason for that. If you just imagine like you turn the hand this way and you bring it to the fretboard, your forefingers can't be aligned on the string.
Right.
So that's why this arm is turned inwards. While this one is turned this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Got it.
So show me your fingertips. Let me just have a look if we can already see the lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So you would do this maybe for 5 minutes to kind of really get to see the lines, and then you can also sometimes you can see where you're thinking that you were pushing down the ring finger, but you didn't really. And stuff like that. So it's a good thing to test things. Yeah. Okay. So from here we go to the daughter exercise, which already encapsulates really everything you need to know about the instrument in a way.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, take your hands off and just put them on the side and just see if the instrument stays in position. You see, it's better now already. It's better. After just a few minutes of massaging it. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So I just mentioned that the release sort of is the default position, like the position that we come from. But in order to when we're talking about it, we're not starting with the release. We're starting with what I call touch.
Okay.
Touch basically just means bring the finger down to the string, and by doing that, you're putting some sort of energy into it because you're pushing the string down. It touches the steel string touches the metal fret or the steel fret, and you get a note. And this is what I call touch. what happens while we hold the string down for now, we're not considering that for the time being, okay? But what we want to do is we want to be able to touch to end the note, and we do that by going from touch to release.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's just the release with one finger. And let's just start with, take this note, which is an A, yeah? Yeah, very good. So let's look at both ways that you can do this. Now you went from playing that one note there with the first finger to a full release, which is perfect. Okay, but also try to just use that one finger. So just a release, single finger release. Yes, and you're doing that extremely well.
Thank you.
But you see, the problem comes when you actually want to take the finger off the string. You get a little bit of a pluck. Yes. Okay. So this is even after 25 years of playing this, this is really hard to control. Okay. But you will get better at it very soon, very early in the process. Okay. Touch, release, and then I call this third step move, because it's not just lifting it off. It is like if you were playing another note, you basically go to the other note in that, and this go-to movement is extremely important for avoiding that open string sound. Okay. And I explained that to you. If you want to do that just with one finger, and you just take the finger off. Well, I'm good at it already, but you don't want to just lift it up straight, but you kind of like want to sort of roll the finger off a little bit along the string in either up or downward. Circular movement or motion. That way. Okay. Yeah. It's super delicate. No, you had to make the release first. So it's touch, then you release, and then you roll the finger off the string.
So here's release. Oh.
Yeah, it's super delicate.
I see.
Yeah. Now this is exaggerated.
Yes, right.
Okay, try again. No, do you have to make the release first? Yes.
That's hard.
Yeah, it's super hard. So the way to think about it is as if your hand is moving along the string. That's why I call it move. Okay. So you touch the string, you release the string, and you move. Did you see?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I think I was going too high off of the fretboard. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that goes in both directions.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Now try the left hand. Same note, using the same note. So in your head, say touch, release, move.
Okay. So touch, release, move.
Yes. So what happens now is, kind of as a side effect, your finger had good velocity when we started to play the note. Now it kind of starts to be more tentative, less tentative, I mean. And what happens is that the volume comes down, and you're pushing the string down a little bit, and you get a detuned note. It goes. Okay, so what you want, you still want the initial velocity to be at release and move.
Right. Well, that's
so right now. Yeah, because remember that you're coming from, you're basically touch, release, move. So here you could do anything.
Yeah.
And touch, release, move. You can do anything. Blah 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 blah.
Oh.
Yeah. Release.
Okay. Gonna have to practice that.
Yeah. So if you're keeping contact with the thumb, it will make things easier. Like think in terms of energy in. You could think of this like pliers even, right? Like come together to put the energy into the string, then release, and while you release, also this side relaxes, and then from this relaxed position, you move the hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So in a way, it's interesting because in one way you're taking the energy out of the string by muting it, by leaving the finger on the string. You just lift it ever so slightly for the release, right? And then you also need to get rid of that energy within the hand before you lift the finger off. Otherwise, there is still some potential interaction there that gives energy back into the string. It's really interesting. Right? It's such a subtle thing, but you can feel it already, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So yes. So if to make it easier, you could even say touch, release. No, sorry. Say again. Touch, and now relax, release.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So now release, relax, and then move.
Yeah.
Relax. So you could put another action that you can call relax in between. That kind of like helps break it down even further.
Okay. And the relax comes after
everything.
Step
action, let's say, or step, right? So touch, release, move is our basic cycle, which really starts on the release. Right now we don't do that, but you know, you're in a release position, you move, you play a note. So it's release, move, touch. But it's easier for now to say touch, release, move.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
and then for every action, after you have done every single action, you can relax.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so now the so-called daughter exercise is taking this idea, and you go through all 8 fingers. Okay. And there's a specific pattern that I want you to use for this.
Okay.
And I'll also explain later why that is.
Okay.
We always go 1, 2, 3, and then we go back 4, 3, 2. That's the order of the fingers.
Okay.
Yeah. So and you alternate between the hands. So you do first finger of left hand, first finger of right hand, second, third, then fourth, third, second, and it starts over. Okay. So and on the very same note.
Okay, in the same
fret
position.
space, exactly the same note. Yes.
Okay. So first would be
touch, release, move. Great. Touch, touch, release, move. And second finger, touch, release, move. Touch, release, move.
Oh.
Yeah. Third finger, release, move. Release, move. And touch, pinky, release, move. Release, move. Yes, third finger right hand, release.
Well.
That's where it starts over. Right?
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Okay. So so here's like obviously you just need to. You did it exactly right. You were kind of like repeating if it didn't work well. And that's how you should do it at the beginning, obviously. Like right now we're rushing through it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but one thing that you could see, maybe not, that I could see.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is, like, you always want to make sure the whole hand goes to where the finger needs to be. So you're aiming with your finger for that position, and then you move your whole hand. What happened here with this hand, for example, that you kept it in one place and you started moving the fingers out.
Okay.
What you wanted, and this is why the sun is the most basic and a really amazing exercise, because it shows you in order to play, say, this note here with the second finger here, you move the hand there, and if you want to play this note here, you move the whole hand there.
I see. Okay.
And you always have the reference of, like, the fingers always know where the string is. That's one important guide. To that you can always rely on, right? And you won't be getting into situations where you're trying to kind of like reach for a note, like reaching over the table to get the pasta or something.
Okay.
You don't want to do that.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Right. Definitely.
So try again. Let's just maybe move up 2 frets. So you see now, like, we're trying to find some sort of like center of gravity for where you want to play the initial exercises. So sometimes you'll find that there is not an ideal position. Like, for example, for the left hand, it may feel like it's already pretty high up on the neck.
Right.
And for the right, it may feel like it's too low on the neck.
Right. Yeah.
So. Let's just move up 2 frets and see how it works there. And so this was like on the 7th fret on the 4th string. That's an A, where we just were.
And I noticed. So the bottom 4 strings have those things. They're coiled, or is it? I don't know what that's called. But wound. Yeah. So that's how you know which string you're on. That's one way to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
So we were just here on this note, on this A. So let's go a string lower and say 1 fret up. That's E flat. Okay. So to go through the exercise just once.
I mean, is there a certain way that I am supposed to get my hands out of the way, or not just like that?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good question. And there is nothing, you can't put this into words.
Okay.
That's why we have the exercise. You play the exercise and your body learns to do it.
I see.
Yeah. And for now we're doing it very slowly. So we don't have a click right now, but you would have a click and you would have touch, release, move. You would have like a bar of 3/4, and you would touch, release, move.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
And you would go through. So the move part, you can take that literally as I have to move my hand even. Just even though it may be just a very, very, very small movement, but you always move along the string. Okay. That way you will. I mean, it's kind of obvious if you take the finger of the string this way. Yeah, touch, release, and move. And I'm just exaggerating now. Basically, you're kind of leaving the string being in contact for a moment.
Okay.
So that means you're still muting as you're removing the finger.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's much easier. It's like the way I am visualizing it now. It's like this instead of that.
Yeah, it's like a ramp. That
Right.
like a yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's easier.
Yes.
And what do I do with this hand when I'm?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. Just sit here. I don't know which way to go, but yeah.
You know, that's exactly the thing. Like we don't this is kind of like part of the technique also, that you don't necessarily want to prepare something before you know what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Like here, as you can see, there is no way to prepare, because the other hand is actually in the place where you supposed to be. Let's say. So that's why you only have a chance to just try to play this faster without considering touch release move. Just do da 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 da. Try that. So you see what happens now is your hands are not moving along string, and they you stay in position, and you each finger is trying to reach for that position.
Yeah.
And that's not working. You need always, the hands always need to be moving, also for you, in order for you to have the energy and the time, the space to accelerate the finger.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So that's why if we just slow it down. Okay, but maybe it's time to go to the what I call the daughter 2 exercise.
Okay.
Because it's easier. I always show the daughter 1 exercise first, because it's harder. We go between the hands. Now with daughter 2 exercise, we just use one hand.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Apply the same pattern, right? We go back and forth. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And now you get a better sense that moving the hand along. So play first finger. I'll show you.
This one.
Yes. And then you basically move the hand and move it back up. So it's basically a position. It's changing position all the time. That's how what you call it on a regular guitar.
Yeah, I can see it's going to take some time to practice, but I understand it.
Yeah. This is totally normal for a beginner. It's also sort of like kind of counterintuitive, right? Like when you see guitarists, like the way they play is completely different. Here we actually do have to change position every single time, and it's a crucial aspect of this instrument, right? You don't even want to get into the idea that there's such a thing as a position, you know, because it doesn't work.
Okay. As a drummer, I don't have that concept anyway, so
yes,
I guess that's good. But
yeah. Exactly. I mean, you would be.
I didn't know,
to go from tom, along the toms, you would change the position of your hand. You wouldn't expect the tom to move under your arm. Yeah. So it's the same thing.
I could. So like I didn't even know there was a position thing that I have to avoid. Maybe that's something that's different about teaching somebody that already plays guitar. You have to change that mindset, but I don't know.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
So, but still, your body acts as if you had that concept. This is interesting.
Yeah, it is, because it's harder. I don't know.
Okay, so let's apply our knowledge. There's what I call the full release. Okay, so now between every single note you play, make a full release. So basically that means you play with the first finger, then you release the first finger, and at the same time you're putting all 4 fingers down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Release. Great. Then move. Second finger. Release. Great. Third finger.
And I don't know if it matters, but is it better to take your hands off the string before or after you move? I guess after, right?
Okay, so that is the part that is the big unknown, and should always be the big unknown, because it is within that space that you gather the energy to play the next note. So ideally everything is kind of like a forward motion, like fluid flowing kind of thing. So you could say like, okay, I'm playing this one note, so when I move, this is already my trajectory to the next note. Like that's like we go to the note. That's why I say we go to the note. You go to the note and you sort of like land on the next note as you do this. Like you move along the string. Even if you go to another string, you still move along the string, so up or down this way, and go to the next note. And you have to sort of like use that space you have, you know, to gather the energy to play the next note and to develop a certain velocity with the finger. And it's always different.
Okay.
There is no one answer. Sometimes you may want to move first, and other times it kind of like becomes one thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So the move always ends with a touch, you could say.
That makes sense. Yeah.
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 So you see, like with doing this with one hand is already much more manageable than going between the hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that's how you should start practicing this.
That makes sense.
So but now try to go back to the version. Well, no, before we do that. So the relationship with the sun exercise is the following. If you just put your first finger back out there, you see like now you can just move up and down here from there. It's the exact same thing, right? So the sun tells you how to go from one note to the other, but we're not actually playing a note.
Right.
The daughter exercise is the same movement, but we start adding the touch release move to play notes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good. Super great. Yep. Fantastic.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like I'm pulling, in this case, my second finger up and putting the others down at the same time. But would it make more sense to keep this down and no? Okay.
No, it's because we have these two qualities of the release, like what is the daughter release? So daughter release is one finger, or like the single finger release, and then there's what I call the sun release, which is the full release. Okay, and it's basically kind of like counter movement that happens. Like as you release one finger, the other fingers come down to make the full release. Right.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
So, but you also want to be able to just make that release with one finger.
Right. Okay.
So the full release is really just like if you want to dive really super deep into the technique of a particular exercise or passage that you want to play.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. The pinky is harder than the others. Am I doing something wrong?
No, that's normal.
Okay.
As you see now that you're not making the full release anymore, the quality goes down quite a bit. So just stick with the full release for now. It's okay. And you want to learn to relax the fingers to be sitting on the surface of the string anyway. So you can't go wrong practicing the full release.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's try now to go between the hands now with the knowledge of the full release, and you see it's really awkward. Because the hands get in each other's way.
Right.
Make a full release now. So
with this hand?
With that hand. Yes. And then it needs to move away.
Okay.
Yeah. But you see here, you wouldn't want to go just to the side. You want to go something like this.
Okay. Then this. Oh, so should I do like that?
Make the full release.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And take all the time you need. Yeah, now you see that because we have these two hands that obviously are two hands and they're separate, and that gives us quite a few options. Let's move, right? But we need to see them already at this point as interacting.
Yeah.
Right. So you could, and this is kind of maybe like the opposite what I said before about you don't want to prepare, but here now, but let me show you. Okay, so just play first finger there again and make first left hand and full release. Yeah, and you want to move, right?
Everything.
And yes, and play that note. So now you could say, okay, like if I'm playing the first finger and I know that I need to be here, I should place my hand here.
Yeah.
No. Right? Because you want to travel, you need to travel in order to play a beautiful note.
Right, because you need space to accelerate.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why we could even exaggerate and could say the hand is down here. Right? Touch. Full release. Yes. And you do the same here. You can go back and forth between doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's sort of crazy, but that's and you see there is no answer. You can't say where should the hand be. That's why you should just play the exercise and see what happens.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense, like this, moving everything as one unit, as one hand.
Yes.
Yeah, at least now I know what to do with my hands. You know, it's not in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Great.
But yeah. It's a lot of motion. I could see sometimes maybe you don't want to do that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, and the motion you're making is dependent on the tempo that you're playing, on the region of the fretboard that you're playing.
Yeah.
It's always going to change. So that's why you just like with any other instrument, you practice at different tempos and try to,
Right.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different motions, different everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Too hard, I guess. This one.
So we're starting here with something that most people don't even consider. So you need to be aware of that as well. So there could be like a completely different approach to this where you just start to learn where the notes are or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But I have found that to be very, very inefficient.
Yeah, I was thinking this week about kind of what we should work on first, and I think it makes sense to focus on the technique basics first, because
there's no choice. I mean, at least this introductory lesson needs to be about that,
right?
And then we can go from there, and but you need that basic understanding of how it really works.
Yeah.
Right. And the one of the main reasons really for focusing on that is really that the dynamics of playing, like playing loud or playing soft notes or anything in between, comes from this.
Right. Yeah.
Because like I said, we have the space to accelerate. And you need to be able to kind of like, if the finger comes down faster, you get a louder note. If it comes down very softly, as you can demonstrate, I can push down a note here, and we don't even hear it.
Right.
Right? Because the finger comes down very slowly. Yeah. And see, so what we need to do is we need to just make sure that the speed and the tension with which we kind of push down the string is it's kind of like a counteraction. As soon as you touch the string, you don't want to accelerate anymore. If you keep accelerating, it translates into pressure, and you don't want that. You don't want to do that, right? So it's a very subtle thing, and that's why it's important to have to develop this haptic sense of what the string feels like, what the contact with the string feels like.
I can see that once you can reliably do this well, all the rest will be so much easier. I mean, in a sense, like the music is the much more fun part. Like part of me really wants to just like play some crazy stuff now, but I know that if I do this work first, then later all of that will be much easier.
Yeah, for sure. And you know how it is with bad habits, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't want any of those.
You know, my right hand coming from like the stick initially and then some other instrument, and it been fucked. And only after over 25 years I finally got, you know, like found a way to correct.
Good for you, but man,
but it's shocking. You know,
it's very hard to reprogram bad habits.
Yes,
much easier to do it right the first time.
Yes, exactly. And really in your head, always say touch, release, move, even if it sounds stupid, almost like the metronome should say touch, release, move. We're breaking it down to, like in the end, you know, like now we're kind of spacing these actions evenly, but later on, it's very, like I said, a very fluid way. Like you know. Sometimes if you want to play legato, the time between the release and the next touch is extremely short.
Right. Okay.
For example.
I guess I'll have to be aware of the release, that moment, and when that happens.
Yes. Okay, so playing that one note with all 8 fingers is sort of like the general idea. We want to be able to play every single fret string combination on the instrument with every finger, every one of our 8 fingers, right? So that's kind of like the start of that approach. Okay, but then since this is a stringed instrument, like a guitar-like instrument, and we have 4 fingers per hand and we have frets, it's also logical to think of it in terms of like assigning 1 finger per fret for like a chromatic, like 4 chromatic notes, for example, right? So there is so on this was like the son and the daughter, that's like the lowest level of the family exercises. Now on the second level we have the mother and the father exercises. Okay, so the mother exercise is basically the combination of the daughter and the son exercise. And what happens here is now that we kind of bring 2 concepts together. One concept is 1 finger per fret, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, covering 4 chromatic notes, and the daughter, which is the roll, like we roll the 4 fingers on 1 fret.
Okay.
What we just did, right?
Yeah.
So like an alternative name for daughter is the roll or rolling or whatever. Okay. So there's this really beautiful, simple exercise that brings that together. And I'm going to show you. We're only going to do that with the left hand to start with. Okay. So for now, let's say we start here on this note, which is a C. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to play 4 chromatic notes. Now remember the no.
Okay.
So exactly the same principles apply now. And so in order to always become aware of the principles again, you can always do the full release in between the notes. That way you can remind yourself. So it means you play the C, make a full release, you move the hand to the C sharp, second finger. Yes. Okay. And now here on this note you start rolling. So you repeat this note till you get to the first finger. Yes, and then you play up, 3, 4, and now you go back down from there.
Okay.
3,
full release.
And second finger, first finger. Now you roll on that note. 2, 3, full release, 4, and then you go 3, 2, 1, and you're back at the beginning.
Okay.
That's the mother exercise.
Okay, cool.
Okay, try again.
Do I roll? No.
You see now it's now it's already starting to sound like something. This is already a melody. Right?
Yeah, right.
So,
cool.
Okay, try with the right hand. Okay, and so there you could try in the same place.
Oh,
3, 2, 1. Okay, once more. So you see, it's already coming together, right? Just even 10 minutes ago, it felt like, but it's already coming together.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
So one hand at a time to start with. Also try, like when you get a little bit familiar, try not to look and just try to feel your way into, try it just once, just see what happens. That's the note, yeah.
A little further?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Don't forget the full release. You know what the full release does? It
right.
informs you also where you are.
Yeah. I should probably go slower. I got excited though.
Yeah, that was good. And you're doing that correctly. This is free. It's can move. But keep playing. I'll show you something.
Okay.
The fact that you're making contact with the string, with the full release, like all times, it won't matter where the neck is. You will always get feedback where you are. Yes. Really fantastic, really good.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and do it with metronome. Try to bring it to like a reasonable, like even eighth note at 60 or something, which is already fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Something like that. That should be the aim. One hand at a time, not looking. And then comes the touch guitar specific thing where you can play it with two hands in parallel. Okay? And there are always two ways of playing something in parallel, with the uncrossed and the crossed way. Okay, so the crossed way, now let's start with the uncrossed way. Uncrossed way here, starting from this note, will be pretty tough, because you would play the octave. Octave is here. Okay, so now we'd have to tune this better for this.
Okay.
Start playing this note again. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is very hard. So I wouldn't recommend doing it there.
Okay.
But try once.
Yeah. And in unison, or?
Yes. So the full release needs to happen now in unison as well here.
I see what you mean.
You would have to go up from there.
Oh, right.
So there's always like the one note in the middle where you roll, right? And then later on, well, it's okay if you're not. Later on, you can extend the exercise across the whole fretboard by adding more on top of each other. Okay, so that would be the uncrossed version.
Okay.
Yeah. So where basically this hand is playing, the right hand is playing lower than the left hand. Okay, so the other way is, if you put your finger on the C again here, is to, and now this is hard, to play octaves on adjacent strings here. Yes. So now if you try to play the first fingers together now, just the first note. Yeah, there you go. So now you have an octave there. Yeah. So you see, this is harder now, because like you don't want to do this.
Okay.
To stop the string. Yes. Great. Great. Full release. Great. Then roll. What happens? Move the instrument over.
Okay. And that's it.
So now here in this position, let's do the following. So start, because this, the hand covers a minor third from C to E flat here. So we can move the whole thing down another minor third to A, and you could start there. So now you see, like, the distances are wider.
Right.
Yes.
it?
What happens now is that you know that this is like the logarithmic scale here. So and somehow your brain seems to be referencing these distances for this hand now also.
Yeah, I'm moving this one too far because these frets are bigger.
Yeah. But that's why it makes sense to play this exercise in different positions.
Yeah, sure, I can see how that would help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of practicing to do on that, but yeah.
Yes. So really, I would say that really is enough for the first lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but within a few days or a week of doing this, you will have a much better grasp of the whole thing already.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean that. Seems like those are all. Wait, actually, I have to ask: is this the father exercise, or no?
That's the mother exercise.
Mother. Is there a father?
Yes, there's a father exercise.
Did we do that?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Let's leave that for next time.
All right. Yeah.
Or unless you insist. Do you need more to do?
I think I'll probably have enough to do with just this.
Yes.
I'm curious what it is, but
yeah. So like the original idea of this was like in a way to describe these different characteristics, let's say, of approaching, like playing the you see like this fingering we have here also for the mother exercise is the daughter fingering 1 2 3 4 3 2 at all times. It just repeats like this, right? And so it's the back and forth movement, which is sort of like the female side of the family, and the male side is the one where we go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, where it's kind of skipping.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So where it's and that's kind of like the father exercise is basically the 24 finger combinations in 4 frets.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a great exercise for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's great. I think I'm going to be busy with just that.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy to understand intellectually, but physically it takes time.
It takes time, yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's important, and I think that already happened for you. It's almost like this little switch in your brain so that you understand you need to stay on the string.
Yeah.
And once that is, like, once the release becomes something that's sort of logical for you, then everything else kind of follows from that.